As we all know, there are people who, thanks to their hard inner work, this perfect way of accepting the flow of the universe and conscious synchronization with their true essence, manage in a unique way to vibrate at a very high frequency, which makes their life present in a more harmonious and respectful form of the universe. But have you ever wondered what's the difference between these people and the others? There are those who claim that it could be the way they develop and the habits they practice, which in one way or another end up enhancing that particular way they have to vibrate. Seeing this, many curiosities arise about those habits that they cultivate and that help them to always be aligned with the high frequencies, one that we will explore today so that we can all recognize and add to our lives these wonderful practices that are so beneficial. That's why you pay a lot of attention, because today we might discover the key to a more spiritual and higher life. Number 1. Express gratitude. One of the first things we notice when we talk about people with high vibrations is how they have embraced gratitude, making it easier for them to express and practice it in their everyday lives. Gratitude, a powerful energy in the universe, expresses our deep appreciation for both the events in our lives and our dominance on the earthly plane. When we embrace gratitude, we understand that even the smallest is a great blessing, and that no matter how much people insist on ignoring these details, they constitute examples of greatness from part of the universe. Gratitude also allows a much wider view of life, from which there are not good and bad things, but blessings and great opportunities for change, which are a precious gift to our being. Gratitude also includes appreciation of all that is intangible, and that in many cases ends up having a much greater importance than some believe. In this sense, we will see how these high-frequency vibrational people seem to be strongly attached to aspects such as love, cooperation and forgiveness, making these the most protected goods in their reality. This is what sometimes allows them to be completely detached from the material, because they understand that everything you have is a moment and the energies that manifest it go and come. Besides that, gratitude helps you live in fullness and have everything you want. High vibration beings are also able to take all the negative that happens to them in their lives and take us to a positive end. From gratitude, sometimes even capable of taking events such as deep material losses or the departure of a loved one, and impregnating them with the energy of appreciation, making all the discomfort that usually occasion is replaced by a deep gratitude, in turn a thought that everything is happening in perfection with the plan of the universe, and that from there they will be able to become wiser and more capable beings. It is important that we observe these beings as souls capable of overcoming any situation of everyday life with integrity and deep faith, making everything flow more quickly in their lives at the same time that they do not end up stagnating in any of the sections of their journey, for gratitude drives them in beautiful forms. Number 2. Cultivate conscious thinking. Studying the habits of individuals with high vibrations reveals a remarkable trait. They cultivate their own consciousness, prioritizing its growth and strengthening through consistent care and exercise. When we understand that opening ourselves to consciousness is a key part of our soul journey, we are necessarily called to evolve, at the same time as we begin to observe the world from a different perspective, and therefore to walk under these new premises and peculiarities that we have as the North. Opening ourselves to consciousness leads us to accept the ways in which everything moves in the universe, even if it is not what we had conceived during the course of our lives, thus accepting the knowledge that arrives in our lives and nourishing ourselves with it. It is wonderful to think about how only by opening ourselves up in consciousness can we manage to make our reality and the course of our journey change in such impressive ways. So it is not strange that these people end up taking care of this part of themselves and allowing it to expand every day, from which it also brings profound changes to our reality. We cannot fail to observe the profound significance and importance of this practice, which is supported by exercises such as meditation, internal dialogue, and deep contemplations, from which we manage to make the transition that is made from the shadows of ignorance to the lights of conscious knowledge easier. If we ourselves find ourselves on a journey to raising our vibrations, it is advisable to treat consciousness as a key point, letting it guide us along our path and make us see ourselves confronted with the ideas and beliefs that formerly formed a vital part of our perspective, but which now come to be refuted by everything you will see, experience, and absorb in knowledge and light. Taking care of oneself and maintaining an open consciousness is crucial for our evolution, as previously mentioned. Number 3. Incorporate meditation into your daily routine. In the same way that we just mentioned, meditation is a powerful tool in development, and it can be a key point in raising our vibration, so it is no wonder that it is a primary part of the habits of these people who are aligned with the highest vibrational frequencies. Meditation is not simply a method of relaxing the body, but during the practice of it, we can end up channeling energies from the earth and the universe, which help nourish and revitalize our being in an integral way. During meditation, we see how our being aligns perfectly with the energies of the earth and with everything that comes from the higher vibrational frequencies, so it is considered a practice of profound significance to these people. A deep and properly performed meditation can lead our soul to a deep state of calm, from which you unlock information or memories that have been out of your reach, succeeding in making them part of your being and being able from there to conduct with greater harmony in the universe. This practice is also conducive to obtaining guides and messages from the realms and the higher dimensions. And it is that there is in the universe a great amount of information to which we ourselves limit ourselves, all because we do not open ourselves to understanding, accepting, and exploring the existence of the same in other spaces and dimensions, so that those people who have ended up raising their being to the highest vibrational frequencies see it necessary in the midst of their evolution to accept these premises and open themselves to receiving that package of knowledge that is outside waiting for us. This necessarily entails the acceptance of the existence of elevated beings to even higher levels, making us aware of their role in our lives and our development, and therefore having to accept the help they provide from the love, compassion, and sense of unity that they manage. Meditation is the perfect channel for knowing ourselves, the universe, and getting from it all the knowledge we need to put ourselves as wiser beings and of a much higher vibration. So, if our task is to reach this higher vibrational level, the daily practice of meditation exercises. Number 4, we prioritize personal care and self-love. An important part of the quest for that balance that allows us to elevate our being to align with the higher vibrational frequencies is undoubtedly the one in which we have to set our priorities very clearly, because otherwise we risk ending up giving more value, time, and energy to ephemeral aspects of our lives than to the things that really have weight in who we are and our journey. In this sense, there are two aspects that people have to put aside, but that beings with high vibrational frequencies understand and accept as a fundamental part of their existence. These two things are self-care and the love that we give ourselves. The most important thing in our lives always has to be to keep ourselves in a state of health, balance, and well-being, because we will not be able to help other souls or put strength into their processes if our own are neglected. As you have probably heard throughout your lives, people cannot provide light or offer to others things that they do not possess themselves, so it is primary to understand and take care of our being while impregnating it with all those good and beautiful things that we seek to give to others with full hands. An example of this is love, which, as you have already seen, is among the top priorities of people who possess a higher vibration, for this is a force that moves the world and all the souls that inhabit it. Giving ourselves love and all those things that derive from it is key if we want to live in well-being, because if we do not know how to recognize and appreciate ourselves, there is no appreciation or recognition that we can give to others. In this same sense, if we do not know how to be compassionate and give ourselves love and empathy, we will never succeed in establishing bonds of compassion and understanding with others, so we will be alien to their presence and remain anchored to lower vibrational frequencies. We can only provide light if we possess it within ourselves, and we must make our being a temple to care for jealously, giving special care to the energies that we allow to enter and dwell in us. At the same time, we must understand love as an energy that circulates not only from us to others, but from ourselves to our own being, and then to the rest of humanity. Number 5. Affirmations and positive internal dialogue. Although many do not understand it, this point can be strongly anchored to the previous two, and is that when we speak of caring people, we must necessarily refer to those techniques that help us detect the energies and traumas that are taking place within us and to which we must address immediately. But not only that, but the ability to talk to ourselves helps us to better understand those reasons for our action that are often found below conscious knowledge and come to penetrate the deeper layers of our being to help our soul rise to knowledge and consciousness. Internal dialogue is something that many are afraid to practice for fear of hearing that voice that is in the depths of their being, which represents and expresses the most intimate aspects of being, some of which we can even try to hide from others because of the influence of the ego in our lives. There is only one being on this plane with whom it is possible to get completely naked, and that is ourselves, so we should not be afraid to find a moment to communicate with ourselves and with those ideas and energies that exist deep within us. Naking ourselves before ourselves allows us to be aware of those points of our existence that need to be worked out, and in doing so, we must cover ourselves with love, compassion, and tenderness. For this internal dialogue will not be a good result, but we can manage to give ourselves the same kindness that we give to others. Many do not understand the importance of speaking to ourselves with love, but if we manage to get out of those thoughts that invite us to be extremely strict with ourselves and manage to use every word that we address ourselves as a means to fill us with light and energy, without a doubt, what will happen in our reality will leave us without words. At the same time, we manage to feel how our being is renewed in strength, and it manages to rise a step further in those vibrational frequencies that mark our existence. One important recommendation is to affirm positivity towards ourselves, especially when it comes to those aspects in which we feel we fail, because from there we strengthen and heal. Number 6. Visualize and set goals. This is a habit that, rather than being practiced by a few, should be of mandatory character in the vine of each soul. For as we know, each of us is energy, and at the same time, we radiate energy to the universe, from which it gives physical form and a space in reality to everything that we seek and with which we vibrate. So we end up realizing that our being is the designer of everything we live and experience, even if what we go through is not as positive as we expect. In most cases, this manifestation is not given in the terms we want, or simply does not arrive, because we choose to pay attention to other aspects of our lives that are not so relevant, or simply focus on the negative. It is in these cases that we understand the importance of setting in our eyes what we really want and staying focused on them to the point that we end up having them in front of us, something that is only possible with a delimitation of goals. If we do not know what our true end is, we will go through life taking scattered paths that lead us nowhere, and what we will do is float in this reality like drifting ships. But if, from the internal dialogue, we become aware of what we really want and aspire to have, and with that clarity, we manage to visualize, inform and aspect what we have, everything we do will end up oriented towards achieving that, and therefore we will safely manage to embrace everything that our soul desires. At the same time, the way up to obtaining it will be presented in a simpler way and will give us, at home, beautiful lessons and new skills useful for our journey. Number 7. Do acts of kindness. At this point, we must stop for a moment to take away from us a misguided belief that is recurrent and that there are beings who conceive of acts of goodness only as deliveries of the material we possess, when in reality there is much more behind that kind of love that we give to others. Each of our beings comes out of any kind of execution that goes to the benefit of another. One way or another, we are embodying an act of goodness, one that is also covered with the energy of love and all the positive that is in you. And that is so great that it overflows even the lives of those around you. Moreover, it is important that we understand something about acts of kindness and that they are strong generators of good fortune, peace, and much light for your life, as they have the power to multiply for those who do so, all the good that has been delivered. Each of our good deeds and all that energy that we give to the universe and those around us has the ability to multiply and bring back the most beautiful rewards for our lives. Therefore, we must let the goodness of our being flow from us through our actions, giving everything we can, for the more we give to others, the greater will be what the universe will return in grace and light to our being. We should not have kindness and unselfish dedication as a symptom of weakness, because in reality this only demonstrates the greatness of our being and the way in which we align ourselves with the most beautiful energies of the universe. Each one of us gives what he possesses within him, and the greater and more beautiful that act of goodness, the more light that being possesses. So it is not uncommon to understand that those who perform the greatest acts of kindness are those souls who are elevated in their vibration. If, from this moment on, you begin to be the author of these acts of love on earth, no doubt your vibration will also end up rising, and you will enjoy all the benefits that these special souls enjoy. Number 8. We prioritize our health and hydration. Many are not aware of the clear relationship that exists between physical well-being and the vibration of the being, and it is that although our body is no more than the vessel that houses our soul, it connects and synchronizes with it in a perfect way, so that any imbalance or discomfort in any of these two aspects that make up you, the spiritual and the physical, will end up reproducing on the other side. It is because of this that, in the same degree of importance and attention that these beings are devoted to their consciousness and to the internal aspects that affect them, they also end up paying much attention to their physical health, so they end up oriented to the care of their nutrition and hydration. These people who have an elevation in their vibrational frequencies are characterized by being very careful when entering food or beverages into their bodies, as they understand that they have a double charge that can in many ways affect them. While certain foods can cause major physical disorders or discomfort, they also manage to touch the spiritual side of that being with their energy. That's why we see it as a common factor in them that they end up rejecting highly processed foods, alcoholic or energy-intensive beverages, as well as coffee and others. In turn, this is combined with an important water intake that allows your being to be constantly in cleanliness and optimal functioning. From here, we can understand that if we begin to take care of our food today in wonderful ways, we will see how it ends up helping us to better cope with many processes at the spiritual level. Number 9. Exercise regularly. Hand in hand with the above point, we appreciate that the personal care that they carry for their being extends as far as involving exercise in their regular routine, making the physical body that they hold fit in the best way possible. This in turn makes it possible for us to have a sense of well-being that extends from physical to spiritual, honoring the premise that we were placed on this planet to live in well-being at all times. Some of these beings are strongly attracted to the idea of practices such as yoga, which, in addition to helping the body, end up having a positive effect on our spiritual aspect. However, this is not a limitation, because any kind of physical activity that allows them to feel how their body detoxifies and stays in good physical shape will be great for them. Outdoor sports are also able to capture the attention of these people, and in addition to benefiting from physical activity, they are connected to their environment, which generates impressive satisfaction. Number 10. They reject negativity. Not everything consists of working on what is within us, but many times in this process of elevating our being, it is necessary to contemplate the way in which the exterior presents itself in ways not beneficial to our being. And it is that, in the universe, not only positive energies are managed, but to find the perfect balance, there must also be a charge of negative energies that puts the perfect point of balance in everything. This is how we give a reason for being to the negativity that arises from the outside and in many events that we have to go through in order to achieve the perfection and balance of our being. However, negativity should not be embraced, but should be seen as a point for exercising our positivism and our level of consciousness. So the souls who are higher end up observing negativity and rejecting it, transforming everything that comes from it into positive aspects and even opportunities for growth. This is an infallible way to get everything we want and not let external factors take over our being, because everything we need and the tools to build our future are within ourselves. Number 11. They embrace silence. One aspect poorly explored by people is silence, which can have a wonderful effect on our lives and boost the work we do for the things we want. While it is true that human beings have an imminent need to communicate and interact with others, by doing so we generate reactions in others which translate into energies that invade our being and the work we do toward our goals. It is important to know how to select the moment to express ourselves and to do so from love, respect and balance, just as to choose the time to speak and that everything we have inside is expressed. It should also be emphasized that there are things that are important to keep quiet about and that they are a secret to ourselves until the day they are finished taking flesh on the earthly plane. We must not fail to observe that the more we embrace silence, the more we will value everything that others tell us, and the more easily these guides that we need will come to us to help guide our ship in the midst of this journey of evolution. Number 12. Embrace change. To conclude our encounter, it is important that we see the ability that people with high vibrational frequencies have to embrace change and everything that derives from it, so that they can flow with the energies of the universe and position themselves at the highest levels of well-being. As we develop this capacity for acceptance, we will realize that our path will be much easier and the burdens of our being will be more bearable. Therefore, we must not allow fear, doubts, or uncertainties to stop us, but we must continue to move forward and flow with no new change that appears in our lives, because that is the only way to raise ourselves in consciousness and in vibration. We must be clear that these are not the only practices that higher beings have as part of their everyday lives, but they are a small look at how these souls configure their lives, managing to align themselves with the higher frequencies. That is why I invite you to go through the comments section and tell me what other habits you consider that raise our vibration. In turn, I would like you to let me know if this information has been useful to you, and for that, leave a like in this video. Share these wonderful habits with others so that they incorporate them into your life and also get elevated. And finally, subscribe so you have access to the content that we will be sharing each new day, and let us go along this path of knowledge together. For now, we say goodbye, but very soon we will meet in this space. Until then, I send you light and blessings.